Alright folks, so the crash and burn challenge continues. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I just finished processing another extraordinary session. Not mine. A guy called, what was his name? Butsky, Brisket, Betsy, Bats, oh, whatever. Anyway, he was playing at the El Dorado in downtown Vegas, and you look at something like that, $2,000 gone in less than 12 minutes, and you look at something like that and you think, surely there must be a casino boss there, sort of saying to him, "Okay, play to lose, and we'll take care of you." I mean, it's just flipping mind blowing, and the worst of it was that the guy actually won more bets than he lost, only by a half a bet, but nonetheless, it was an even game, and he managed to lose 2,000 flipping dollars by playing like a pillock. Just astounding. I think that's a repeat. Astounding. Oh, and then the other thing that I wanted to report was that I've been saying for the longest time that there were a couple of busts in the Baccarat model, but I was kind of frustrated because when you go and look at the busts, you see that it's just a ridiculously large number of consecutive losses, something that no human being would actually permit. Just sort of say, "Hey, I'm getting out of here. This is ridiculous." I mean, like after 5, 6, 7 consecutive losses, you're thinking, "Okay, time for a break. Or I'll go and get a cup of coffee, or take a walk around the block, or do whatever." And oh, this is no good. I got better, didn't I? And I've always advocated the fact that if you don't feel comfortable in any situation, for any reason at all, just walk away. Just make sure you take your down and out with you and resume play at the appropriate betting level at your next location, whether it's a different game in the same casino, and it doesn't matter. But anyway, finally, I had a brainwave and managed to build into the algorithm a sort of a skip. It's the same as a gag. A skip is just sort of just not having anything to do with the output. Sorry, I was struggling there for the word. It's kind of late in the day now, I guess, so I'm sort of word challenged. But anyway, it's the same as the get up and go, the gag. You just go to the next shoe, whatever it happens to be, and it works in a very interesting way. I was doing great. I was, even after I think it was the third bust, I was still at nearly 700,000 ahead, and it was about 6.87%, 700,000, 7% of total action. Really good kind of hourly return on on the pattern betting strategy, and put that skip thing to work, and boom, shot up to well over 1.2 million and not a single bust. So it was quite an eye-opener. I'll be putting that up separately and explaining it and everything, but I mean, the main thing is there's no faking, farting around, fiddling, misbehaving or whatever. What would be the point of that? It'd be just ridiculous. Oh, and here, by the way, as I've said before, I won't be going to Baccarat if I get to the point where I can't make the next bet. I will simply make a note of the current loss to date, and then ask for a courtesy shuffle, and go a little bit higher up. I'll make the buy in 100,000 instead of 25. But we'll see whether we get there or not. Anyway, Biscuit, whatever his name. His session, which he called a nightmare session. He was bloody right about that. It had nothing to do with the cards. It had to do with his insane bets. I've just dropped him a note to say this is what I've done with your data, and I hope you don't mind. If he does mind, well, I'm not going to pay any attention. I don't think he's going to come and sue me in England somehow. Maybe YouTube will insist I take it off, or they'll take it off for me. I don't know. But is that? I don't know. I'm just assuming that's going to be that. You seem to be on a little winning streak here. Me and my big mouth. Okay, repeat that one. These are split. That worked, didn't it? Okay, back to the min. I think I'm going to have to concede over splitting eights. I did some research on the kitchen table today and thought, oh my goodness, it's definitely a better thing to do. I hate it, but I don't like splitting aces either. I mean, unless it's against a 5, 6 or 4 or whatever. But I do it because they tell me that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Double for the tie. 1, 2, second. 3, 4, third. 7, 4, drop. Oh, that was 7, 4, drop. 7, 4, drop. It is. 9, 4. 7, 4. We're back to. 11, 8. 2, 3. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7, 8 again, second. Aha! That was nice. Oh yes, and of course against Bitsky's, Bretsky's thingy, Banksy, whatever. Pattern betting kicked ass. Surprise! I think that must be 1, 2, third. That's a bugger, isn't it? Three, 2, drop. 3, 2, tis. 5, 4, second. And 9, 8. Don't like the look of this. 9, 8, third. Okay, 17, so that's going to be 2, 1, drop. That was clever. 1.5, 1, because we won 500 there. 1.5, 1. Ooh, I guess that's going to be half 1. Doesn't seem like much, does it? But we just got some silly cards, like 3 times in a row there. Anyway, that's us out. We're now close to 2,000 ahead, and I like that. I prefer that to being behind. Well, sort of depends really, doesn't it? See, another one, another bloody crazy catch. But they do happen. It really does, you know, and that's going to be a repeater, I think. And that looks like it's a worker. plus 1 plus another 1 plus another 1. That's good. And plus max. Okay, we'll try that again. Maybe. Okay, so we're good there. We'll go back to the min. Plus 1. Oh! 51. I wasn't expecting that. Uh, 51. Repeat it. Double doodle. 2, 3. Oh, 5, 6, third. Okay, 11, 6, drop. That worked, so we just made 6 there. So we got 5, 5, 6 now, because that was a drop. So we're on 5, 6 now. Oh, bugger. Every so often I do that, I don't know why. 5, 6. Try again. That's a double. Okay, shouldn't have been. Okay. 17, 18, second. That was pretty good. That was a good catch. Alright, so we're at coming up to 3,000. Nearly at the end of the first shoe. Double for the loss. 1, 2, third. Alright. Going to be yellow card any second, isn't it? That's a bugger. Alright, 51, second, repeat. And 1, 2, 3, third. Ah, 5, 3, drop. Just never know what the second thingy is going to do. 5, 3, drop. Alright, that got us 2, which we'll take off, so that's 3, 3, which we're going to call 3, 4, because we don't do that other thing. 7, 8, second. Dear me. 15, 16, third. Okay, so that's 15, 16. So that's got to be 3.5, 1.5, I think. So the drop is 500. 3.5, 1.5. Oh, look at that. Stop it. Okay, 3.5. So that's 3, 1.5, because we had a half out there. 3, 1.5. Yeah. It's going to have to be 3, 4 now, I think, because that we could go to 3-3, but we're in thousands, so it's going to have to be 3-4, I think. I think we got it. Okay. Yeah, watching this guy, I feel bad about not remembering his name. God, I typed it enough times. I'm losing it, clearly. Double for the loss. Bretsky? There we go. Repeat. That's nice. I mean, he was behaving like a complete idiot. You know, I mean, surely there must be something going on. Why would anybody film himself behaving that way? Unless there was something in it for him, you know. It just boggles the brain. That's a repeat. It's 51 second. Ah, 52 second. Oh dear. 52, so we lost 4, so that's 4. I think we better call it I think we better call it 5-6 third. Okay, 5-6 11 6 drop. Alright, so that's 8-6 money out. Oh. 14 12 2-3. Didn't expect to win that. Okay. Back to the min. Oh, and I thought I'd got the big one there. 2-3, 2-3 back to the min. Double for the loss. Oh. 2-3 third. Alright. Back to the min. +1. +1. +1. Plus max. Do it again. Do it again. I think we'll repeat that one. Oh! 3-4 third. Lovely sound of the Abbey bells. I don't know if you can hear that. Oh! That's horrible. 3-4 is 11-8 drop. $14-8, $17-8, 28. Don't like this. 23-8. 28 it is. Hmm. 28-16, so I think we'll call that 3 1.5. 3 1.5. It's going to have to be 3-4 again, isn't it? I think we got that. That puts us at 6,800 ahead. Plussing right now. We're in a little streak. That didn't last long. Do that again. It's a double. Alright, back to the min. Won't beat that. Yeah, the Abbey bells do sound marvellous. I hope you can hear them. Let's call it 1 2/3. I'm a bit confused. Undo. Look at that, they turned them up. That's funny, must have been the wind, must have just changed direction very quickly there. I'm not sure what I'm doing now. I was listening to the bells. The bells! $51 second. Just enough. Repeat. Oh, I gotta go on a bit. 150, 51 second. So that's 2-3 third. Choose a win here, please. Alright, so there we are. We came out with 7,450. And, you know, all I'm trying to say to you folks out there is just take this on board. Stop losing. You know, I mean, and use the sort of the gag rule, the skip rule, or whatever. The rule that I added to the algorithm was quite simple, and it's one that I've talked about over and over again for months and months and months and months and months and months and months, and had discussions with my baccarat vampire in California. Great guy who seems to spend his entire life in the local card room playing baccarat, and I don't know when he sleeps or when he works or when he eats, but you know, he's a baccarat maniac. And I said, you know, if you're 5 bets behind and the bet you've just lost is 1,000 or more, just get out, you know. It doesn't, there are no guarantees. You know, if you decide to move, there's no way of knowing whether you're jumping from the frying pan into the fire or from the frying pan into the sort of safe zone. You just have no way of knowing, because every single bet faces the same negative expectation, and so basically you've got to assume that every bet is a loser. But you also know that there's ebb and flow. And of course, whenever I say that, I think of the cartoons, Ebb and Flow, the married couple. And I can't now remember whether they were American or English, but, you know, Ebb is definitely not an English name. Flow is very much an English name. So, yeah, but, yeah, Ebb and Flow. I think he had a little funny toothbrush moustache, and I'll have to look him up. Ebb and Flow. I'll put up a picture on here when I post it. But now I've lost my drift yet again. Yeah, the most important thing is, you know, just trust your numbers. You feel uncomfortable for any reason whatsoever, get out. Just get out. Good for your temper, good for your attitude, good for your, you know, reduce stress, blah 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 blah. And you know, shuffles and cuts and burn cards and all those really smoke and mirrors bits of nonsense don't matter at all. They don't change a thing. So there you have it. Like I said, 7,450 to the good in less than 25 minutes. I'll take that. It's better wages than I'm making right now, I'll tell you. Oh, and there's my old house in Nevada with a rainbow above it. Very nice. Yeah. Okay, next time. All right then, so here we go on the roundabout again. This session that you just sat through, if you had the courage to do that, is one of those that's idiot-proof. I think that even a suicidal lunatic would have a hard time losing money against the outcomes that we saw in these in these two, and I think two shoes and one bet, or two maybe. Anyway, bottom line is that we kicked ass. I've got progressive betting winning 7,350 instead of 7,450, and if I was properly obsessive, I guess I'd go chasing the odd 100 or 200 here, which seems to sort of like either fall through the cracks or jump out of the cracks. But I really don't think that that's justified, because it's such a tiny percentage of the overall picture. What you do get here is random betting, and let's just bang the recalc a few times. Random betting just does incredibly well, again and again and again and again and again. And like I say, you know, you'd have to be a complete numbnuts. Or is it numbskull? Well, either way, numb is bad. It's worse than your nuts, I suppose. Anyway, you'd have to be a real disaster to lose against the house edge here, which with the gross AV actual value was 8% player edge, and the net AV was nearly 14% player edge. So, you know, it's pretty good. Pattern betting managed to achieve 19.4% win hold, if you like, of its total action. And as always, if you look at the action figures up here with pattern betting versus random betting, you'll see random betting routinely takes 10 times the action to achieve a much lower percentage hold or win, rake, whatever. So there's the story. What can I tell you other than the fact that it was just a winning session, and I don't particularly like putting those up because they're not much of a challenge. You know, I'm much happier to show demonstrations of pattern betting kicking ass against odds that would defeat a pattern better, or no, sorry, that was a Freudian slip? I don't know. That would defeat a random better, and random bettors, of course, are the people that the casinos like to see most, and most people are random bettors. They may think that they have a strategy, including card counting, but because the value of bets in card counting is randomly determined, albeit by, you know, what the aficionados, the supporters of the idea, insist is an advantage situation. Those numbers that tell them what to do are still random in essence. And of course, there's the problem that time after time in these models, and some of them have, you know, sort of like tens of thousands of rounds in them. They say that the wins against a positive deck value are not greater than the losses, and it can be quite dramatic. In the Mr. Handpay model that's running right now and has been growing since the 15th of March, so it's now 4 months, right? March, April, May, June. Yeah, 4 months. You know, it's a horror story both for him and for pattern betting, which runs alongside him, the way that it does with all of these play with me demos that I've started developing. I've got a new one coming up now with a guy who blew away 50 grand betting. I hesitate to say stupidly, because it's not really my place to criticize somebody for doing what they want to do with their money. I mean, if they have an urge to take huge chances, huge risks, and bet sort of emotionally and erratically, they have that right. I do understand that. But what bothers me is that these people are setting themselves up as role models. And, you know, I'm just concerned that the hundreds of thousands of subscribers that they have might be tempted to try the same approach to these table games. And you cannot beat these games if you bet randomly against random outcomes. And obviously in all these games they are random outcomes, unless of course the casino is cheating. You know, so it just can't work in exactly the same way that if you were betting flat, you know, just the same thing every time, $100, $1,000 or whatever, then you know, you would be completely a slave to the negative expectation that's built into the game, and which will eventually get its pound of flesh. And it's usually a lot more than a pound too, let's face it. You know, this guy who is a buddy of Vegas Matt's, and I forget his name. I'm not good with names, I confess, and I apologize for it. You know, he was featured in a recent Vegas Matt video, and I thought, oh, here's a guy who seems to have some knowledge and experience, and boy was I wrong. But he's another better, like Jason, Mr. Handpay, who bets multiple hands, and that is just silly. I'm sorry, it's just silly. Every time the dealer gets a made hand, you know, he's going to wipe you out 3 times over instead of just once. So I mean, it just does not make any kind of mathematical, logical, or sensible sense. Sorry guys, but that's just how it is. Yeah, so I mean, I'm having a lovely time, aren't I? I'm trashing everything, card counting and people playing the way they want to play, and yes, everybody has the right to do what they want to do, and you know, I recognise that card counting is very popular, that the casinos are paranoid about it and will take steps against it. But then I sometimes start to wonder, you know what, I mean, there are a lot of these systems, strategies that are put up on YouTube in particular, because YouTube is the most accessible of all places on the internet to see stuff with sound and video as well as whatever, you know. And I sort of look at these and I think, you know what, they smell of casino promotions, because anything that you do which amounts to random betting against random outcomes will result in your demise, and it will result in the casino being able to add your bankroll to their chip count at the end of the day. So you know, I just wonder about those things, and there's so much drama and performance involved in. Yeah, well, we made 55,000 on day one, and then we were backed off from so and so, and then we encountered these guys who refused to cash in our chips, and then we, you know, and I don't know. It all sounds a bit weird to me, but that's the story. You see it right in front of you. As usual, there are errors in column K for cock up. And I apologise for those, but I can't promise I won't make mistakes in future, because I always make mistakes, and I tell you, you will too. Here is the you know, pattern betting, of course, is in the middle there. It's clearly indicated. Random betting is over there on the left. You know, and I mean, just look at the facts, please. That's all I ever say to anybody. Look at the facts. And yeah, there are people out there who keep sort of saying to me, "You're going to crash and burn any minute." Well, hey, you know, every time you get on a plane, you have a fairly good chance of crashing. It's minuscule. It's you know, sort of like a tiny piece of 1%, but nonetheless, it's there. And if you are dumb enough to play these games, and I certainly am, I'll admit that happily. Yeah, I'm stupid. I'm just a little less stupid than most of the people who play these games, because I do have a way to beat them. And I'm not charging anything for this information. I'm not suggesting that it's unique. Probably the many other people smarter than me who develop systems that are or strategies which are very similar are smart enough not to tell anybody. Shh. They just make money. I have a particular thing about doing harm to the casinos, because I think that the casinos collectively worldwide do huge damage to society. They destroy families, they destroy lives, they do things that are entirely indefensible. And here in the UK, we've got this one woman, another name I've forgotten, but she pays herself well in excess of £5 million a week. She runs a gambling operation, and nobody doing what she's doing deserves £5 million a week. She should be giving away to charity £5 million a week and hanging her head in shame. But she won't, because she'll use the same philosophy, the same rationale that all game operators do, and that is, we're not forcing anybody to place bets. We don't have a gun to their head. We are simply supplying a demand. And of course, that's true, as it is also true for drug dealers and for gun sellers. Gun sellers who oh, well, never mind. That's a whole other story, but I will see you next time.